Um, good morning, family. Michia obi biara naso go video way so. Michia obi biara yankopon boy ho ban na oma ye nyansa oma ye nimdeɛ. Oma ye sika na oma ye asetena pa ɛna ahode papa na yɛntumi ɛntena se daa na yɛntumi famboa ye ɔman Ghana. Let me say in concerns kakra bi akɔ a first of all, no, before I start the topic, Nankasa, let me first of all applaud our gallant minority side, NDC for not in parliament for their cohesive resistance against the criminal and the lewding form of criminality. ɛde mmara bɛkuti ho a yɛsi yɛfɛ no E Levy electronic transaction levy no. Their resistance have been enormous, very cohesive and coherent. Let me applaud them. Let me say last week Thursday or so, an issue reached in Parliament, and there has been this debate, divergent views, or in Parliament, particularly on the NDC. For the NPP, it's obvious and whole they are failures for income. But concerns now has to do with the caucus of the NDC. Now, especially for those of us who have the opportunity to or have the privilege to be linked to the big people in this country, we call them and then they give us explanations. Especially I think it is wise for us to also put it on for people to also read in between the lines and then understand the issues. As in say, but minority about so you understand why we are applauding the minority. Now, let me share what the first time in last year November, the issue of the E Levy got raised up in Parliament. A ban said the people who moved the motion and brought the bill itself to Parliament to be considered and passed, and Kasa walked out. That is the NPP. They brought the bill in Parliament. They moved the motion for the bill to be considered under emergency certificate of any agency. At the end, and Kasa move walking out. The NDC then in Parliament stayed behind and then rejected the bill. Few days after that, Obidiko court said the court he praised the court should throw away the decision the NDC then in Parliament making here as in say I rejected budget they praise court accepted the budget rejected here, and that the decision Parliament, that is the minority side it take here it is null and void, so the Supreme Court should nullify it. And the Supreme Court brought the ruling out, say, and then in their ruling, some can say at Article 104 of the 1992 Constitution. I always want to give a reference to. So this is the Constitution. Under Article 104, let me open and then read. Now, Obiala Atias. Okay, Article 104. I say voting in Parliament. Under Article 104(1), it reads, except as otherwise provided in this Constitution, matters in Parliament shall be determined by the votes of the majority of members present and voting, with at least of half of all the members of Parliament present. So upon this article, constitutional side, it is only the Supreme Court who has the authority to interpret the Constitution. The interpretation as what they give us, and they say, we all know say the seats in Parliament is 275, and then half of it would be it will be 137.5. That is exact half. But since you only have a human being, half of Parliament should be 138. As it says that time, now minority NDC is 137. Into mujina article we so and nullify what the minority or the NDC did in last year November. First time now the issue of E Levy in Parliament. In the Supreme Court ruling, interest for a decision to be made in parliament, as in decision making, as in voting, you need to get at least when you at least you have half of the minority of parliamentarians present in making decision making or in voting, which is 138. Inti ano bo NDC assembly guya. Inti and half of members present should be 138. Now, what happened the other day? And he said when the issue of E Levy was brought to parliament, the minority cohesively said the Omanga said we knew said the castle they will vote against it. Now, what happened on the D-Day? And he said D-Day na your core parliament, NDC for core parliament, there were 137 members in parliament. The MPP then were 136. Later, there was this information say ambulance via parliament. It is assumed and presumed say the member of parliament for Hunter West, that's the deputy minister of chieftaincy and traditional affairs, Honorable Kojokum, was yenim so yare a ebi si wenya stroke kakra se den na no and fan a worker no any circumstances biano he could be brought to parliament to add up their number to 137. Inti the majority with their tactics using the Supreme Court and the judiciary, reduce your number not by one. Judge Kwesi that's not issue, he was served at the court. At that time, you nipa baku free ana our court. Inti me nipa ni short here. Strategy say the neighbor ban was very deadly and very detrimental. Inti and ye nifrit equation mo kra since ye on to me back. Even ye the neighbor kra he could be contempt of court and no kra be increasing the criminal charges in maybe I bet him that tuma even say you call run off yonko by election come to me contest binti no kra equation ka ye different. So we're up to 136. Almost we're 136 present. Yes, 136 present. And address for one back. Into information is a Hunter West MP was just behind the door. Say in case maybe I say beto aba on be twem munipa na be shame na just 137 136 on our side and we'll lose. So the other strategy the minority adopted and say since I said there's no way we'll allow this E Levy thing to be passed. Now, for Parliament to make decision on voting, the quorum is 138. Answer the Supreme Court medical check Supreme Court made the ruling. So since some year 136, even plus Kojokum Krapo Bakan 137, they will never meet the threshold quorum. Into what we need to decide and say, when we all get out, we'll avoid them, we'll deny them the quorum for the passage of the bill. And that is why the minority walked out. So when the minority walked out, the MPP, even with a member of parliament, no, you crab account number 137. So they will never form a quorum to the law to be passed. One, I don't know the AC go. And two, people are raising suggestions. I didn't know issue of quorum no. NDC for antina and raise say to prompt the speaker and they say we never had the quorum. There is no way anybody could sit behind and raise a quorum. Any member of the MDC could stay behind and raise a quorum. Let's not forget that the MPP will definitely bring in Kojokum to find someone 137. If it's one member of the NDC cried Jinaho raise the issue of quorum, it will fall flat because number ne count because you are the chamber present. Into one I will raise a quorum. No, we are one plus some of the 137, 138 until the quorum is formed. A honor can be 2 abana a bedding. So what I say? Into issue of quorum say because NDC for it yanka NDC for it now. It receive quorum and no, it doesn't add up. It just any person doesn't understand the issues at all. If it's NDC for it jenipa back poor and can say nipa number be added up to the 137. Now call it 138. So why are you raising the issue of quorum? So it was a wide decision, a very tactical and strategic reason, a strategy for the NDC to have worked out as what they did. Intina Sisiano, their passage of the bill is in limbo. Now, 3. The majority that's having a drusu with 2 other members of parliament on the NDC side at the Asanako Supreme Court. Now, Omu reliefs Amadako Supreme Court and praying for, they said they didn't ask in their reliefs and suit, they didn't ask the Supreme Court to interpret Article 104 because in the interpretation of Article 104, my interpreted that omo chere say 138 members of parliament present and they take a decision. Into for interpretation there, ye ne yet yes 138. What Omodiako Court say, the Supreme Court should enforce the law, evoke the spirit of that ruling on Mumeki, you know. As in say NDC, you know, when they made the ruling, no, they quickly evoked the spirit of the law interpretation. Omo enforce you now, and my trash NDC, you know, the same thing na minorities also running to the Supreme Court to ask the Supreme Court say Murula me make it say 138 the to pass here no say with all parliamentary records any day proceeding records and hazard department in nature say 136 of them were even present. There were even 136 of them in present. Let's add 131 person now Hunter West MP no one back per parliamentary records. He even went to sign crap. It said there were 136 present. So if 137 aim to be and Jimra and bomb rabbing wa a ban is saying 136 the to be Jimra too. Into Supreme Court. As I'm not him. Until you just only enforce the law. We are not asking you to interpret it. Interpretation has already been done. How much me say 138 to be present and passing bill or pass a law. So this is the issue. Now the distant mantle lies on the Supreme Court for us to show us what their true color is. Well, it is obvious and clear that the behavior of the Supreme Court indicates some MPP for, and that instead of them to use this constitution, I think they are rather using the MPP constitution. Into BBLO use MPP constitution only uses it in the MPP office. Anybody who uses this constitution uses it in public offices such as the Supreme Court and other judges or courts of the land. But so you use party constitution the year Juma. You only use party constitution in party offices. Into this we even train in their way. We have actually ruling on Bemano. Bemo mo kwan say aban bi ba. Sa aban no beka say oh, sa na nsema na ye kan say mu use party office, party constitution the year Juma enya no kore. Nti mu de ampasa na mu use constitution nti mu ntina hanye adwuma. Ana say sa na nsema nkofo ka say nsema nkofo ya ka say na mu use MPP constitution the year adwuma Supreme Court ano. Yemfa party constitution ye adwuma Supreme Court nti sa ampa mu indication yi na kire say ampa mo te ha no kra no party constitution na mo de ye adwuma nti sa party constitution mo mfa nko MPP office na mo ko ye adwuma. This is going to determine as some ye dey parliament Supreme Court it is going to determine that or more fate and their destinies as to the perception people have with the unanimous FC and then their CJ into assembly into Ghanaians. I'll always keep on applauding the NDC. People who are blaming the speaker, blaming parliament, the NDC side of the parliament, don't really understand the issues at all. They don't. They don't. Try to understand the issues before you make any comment. Because I won't hear some Nancy. Now we'll make a comment. You are exposing your ignorance. Yes, try to understand the issues very well. You can't tell me, say, who are blaming NDC for MPs for parliament or speaker Bagman. You know, you don't need in charm. It is obvious, say, we have this doubt because of parliamentarians, politicians, or Musubaninti. Politicians are not correct, blah blah blah. Hey, but not all politicians are correct. Obibia na bagasenti and NDC for MPP in parliament mra we see ya personal pena say nipa kon ye disappointed MPP ni ana say nipa no o ye NDC ni asem no on ti asem papa onye kwan ensua enti asem no papa enti no be di MPP for na chi no nti asem ni nani na I think Ndra also in parliament, you resume parliament after the president made the state of the nation address, and you resume parliament. After any parliamentary consider the preceding day, the subsequent day, and I say a subsequent day, you corrected the corrections. Yes, and then it's not parliamentary proceedings. Addition, your bar, your hazard department recorded normal the proceedings in a bar. You should make corrections. Until you make corrections now. It is indicated the clerk of parliament say and record those minority work out. This thing you can't kola. Inti eno ye correct here. Say minority no okay out. The clerks department too. I don't want to believe that man is being an MPP. But almost say almost reason say almost refie and almost into man recorded in their proceedings said the minority walked out. The same time, so almost man recorded other 8 members of the NDC side said they were absent. Meanwhile, the recordings and proceedings of that day in interest they were present. Into Speaker Bagman said, since or no one or the leader of the House, Parliament, no your sign not on caucuses, so not on the NDC caucus or the MPP caucus, Parliament, no your sign. The responsibility lies on the leader. Inti se no nkofo aye mistake sa mo se aye mistake no ono oje tum se oye panyin nti waje omo oye mfa ni na fa mbo no, and then instructed the Hansa department to make the corrections na be dey this sense and pass they yeah passable na 136 na of ehoho, and also MPP NDC MP so mobile na ya trust 8 amba no enye no correct. And also my record say all the NDC MPs, the 136, walked out. And Sana speaker be put to question for the subsequent first reading and second reading consideration stage to be considered not MPP NDC parliamentarians in the chamber, the floor. It just say the bill was packed or supposed to be passed by 136 MPs. Say illegal. It's Supreme Court no. Why? This is the brief explanation between the amount. Mr. More attacking the MTC MPs, more attacking the Speaker of Parliament, and blah 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 blah. No, I think you need to understand the issues very well. And Sana more make you comment. So I think I'll put this thing on my YouTube page on Facebook. If you like it, you share it. Now, what subscribe you on my page on my YouTube page, Somia Television GH. On Facebook, Somia Television GH. You share, you subscribe, you like. Na wama obiala TV. Nyamisha nombe ya hunyina. Ombe ya humba nyina.